Welcome back to Witness and the story of the Gulabi gang, a citizens group working on behalf of some of India's most marginalized peoples.
The Indian government has responded to the current crisis in agriculture with job creation projects like this reservoir to collect water from the monsoon rains. The scheme's designed to give qualifying workers a minimum of 100 days' work a year at a wage of 100 rupees or $2 a day. But it's been beset by corruption and middlemen have creamed off the subsidies. Sampat Pal calls in to check on progress.
This scheme dates from 2006, but there was no sign of it starting. The day I began to campaign going from village to village, that was the day that work actually started. There are many people who are meant to supervise this scheme, but they don't. They just show on paper that work is taking place. And when I go to the actual site, I find out there's nothing going on. Then the poor, tell me, madam, we haven't been given work. Ask them also how many days their payment was held up. Work only starts when we threaten them.
It's back-breaking work, and those doing it are frequently left unpaid. Sampat Pal and her Gulabi gang have fought to protect the workers' rights.
Do you think we get paid? We have no idea when we'll get paid. We just live in the hope that we'll get our money in the end. That's why we are going on. What else can we do? Sampat says that she can help us. That's why we are joining her gang. We say to her sister, we will take your support. That way we will at least get something.
In the sweltering midday heat, the women embark on a 20-minute walk back to their homes for the statutory 2-hour break. Sampat Pal is on hand to insist the regulations are observed. Today, she'll induct 20 new members to the Gulabi gang, each one issued with the organisation's distinctive pink sari, for which they pay 100 rupees, the equivalent of a day's pay. Her assistant, Jay Prakash, collects an additional 50 rupees to cover membership costs and hands over an official receipt. The women's village, Kandahar, has 5,000 people in it, and support for the Gulabi gang is strong. For the recruits, the new uniform is an attractive accessory, but self-defence training with the gang's lathi sticks is the climax of the proceedings. Violence against women is widespread in rural India, and a show of resistance is an occasion for rejoicing. It brings a sense of empowerment and an excuse for jubilation.
There are all kinds of excesses against women. How long will they sit quietly? They will not sit quietly. We took up our lathis and we used them well. We beat people to protect ourselves. Now they're scared of us, and so we don't have to use lathis. We just keep them in our hands, and when we need to, we use them. Even today, if it's necessary, our lathis will rain on officials. And if it's not necessary, they won't.
The Gulabi gang may be a pro-women organisation, but Sampat Pal says it wants to work with men to solve problems, including that of marital violence. The first man to join the gang says the reputation it's acquired acts as a deterrent.
Today, in this area, violence against women has declined to quite a large extent. They generally think twice before maltreating a woman, and if they hear any cruelty has been reported to the Gulabi gang, it carries weight with them. At this time, if any matter in Uttar Pradesh is raised with Sampat Pal, and she just phones an official about it, then the official certainly feels he should look into the truth of the complaint. This in itself, for very small people like us, is a very big achievement.
Victims of domestic abuse are increasingly turning to the Gulabi gang rather than the police for help. Today, Sampat Pal has been called to the village of Lumar, where a young wife, Maya, says her husband has taken to beating her. When her father intervened, she says, the husband, Piralal, beat him too. Sampat Pal decides to call everyone together and reads them the Riot Act.
If you want to take me on, come on. I am here in your village, so don't talk rubbish. I don't want to talk to you. I will only talk to the husband and wife.
She tells Maya she can help her in one of two ways. Next time he beats you, she says, phone me straight away. We'll bring 10 women along and beat him. But perhaps you want to win legally. OK, don't beat him up. If you want to do it legally, make a note of everything he does, and we'll help you to go to the courts. Speaking later, Sampat says she's driven to help victimised wives because of her own experiences as a young woman.
First, I was treated unjustly. I was made to get married when I was just 11 or 12. I had no idea whether I would gain from it or lose. By the time I was 15, I was the mother of a baby girl. I had no particular problem, but I used to listen to the women around me. They used to get beaten by their men a lot. So I thought nowadays man and woman are like the two wheels of a vehicle. So why do women put up with this slavery? Then I realized it was because they weren't using their brains.
In most cases, the people the Gulabi gang is striving to help are rural women belonging to the Dalit caste, the class of Indians formerly known as untouchables. Unemployed or confined to jobs no one else will take on, they've long existed on the margins of society, and they've received little support from the rest of the community. Although the Indian constitution has formally abolished the concept of untouchability, prejudice in the countryside remains strong. Other castes would not mix with the Dalits, and when Sampat Pal began her work with them, she was shunned by her friends and family.
I knew the people I had to work for were mainly Dalit women. They face the maximum violence, verbal abuse, oppression, and they lack resources. They're like slaves. So I formed an organization with them, and with that I began to eat with them. This is not self-interest. I had never believed in caste. And if I didn't eat with them, then caste rules would remain in place. So I ate in their homes, sweepers' homes, the homes of any caste. The social boycott against me began when I drank water from a chamar's house. My in-laws said she's drunk water with a Dalit woman, so she's of no use to us. She can't drink water from our house.
Because of her support for the Dalits, Sampat Pal was forced out of her mother-in-law's house. Part of the new thinking she's trying to create in rural India is that Dalit women should be respected for the benefits they bring to society.
People call them low caste. I don't call them low caste. I call them high caste, the highest caste, because they serve others. And those people are low who make others serve them. Sweepers keep everywhere clean, dhobis wash people's clothes, nais cut their hair. So are sweepers, dhobis and nais low? Or the people they serve? I call them low. And those poor people who serve others, for me, they are gods. Gulabi gang!
The women from the village of Gareria that Sampat Pal mobilised to campaign for a new road have agreed to follow her advice and march with her to lobby the officials in charge of road building. Sampat Pal says the organisation has no ambition to turn to politics, but her rhetoric in support of village women's rights is fierce and uncompromising.
I am saying that as long as I draw breath, I will not stop this struggle. There is a saying, and I have made it a slogan. For the sake of women's honour, Sampat Pal will fight the battle. And for the sake of the poor's honour, Sampat Pal will fight the battle. I will do this as long as I live. If I live to be 100, I will keep on fighting.
That's it for now, but thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time on Witness.